Hi, friends. Great to see you again. Thank you, as always, for your comments, for liking, subscribing, and sharing. I hope that last week's prayer meditation helped you to connect with God, who is the healing force of everything. Today, I want to talk about triggers, but I want to talk about it in a different way, perhaps, than you might expect me to. I remember early on, someone kindly said to me, it's really important for you to know what your triggers are. And when you are in recovery for significant things, I find on a regular basis you're caught off guard in the middle of being triggered by something you never expected to impact you the way that it has. Last year, as a really good for instance, last year I was in Oregon visiting family and with two couples and then myself. And these two couples are a family. And so I was there. I'm the fifth wheel, very regularly the fifth wheel. That's okay. So I'm there, and each of them has a bedroom, and I have a sofa bed that is in sort of the shared space living room area. Now, these are considerate, responsible, nice adults. And what I didn't know and what they didn't know is that being woken up in the middle of the night over and over is a trigger for me. Now I know it, but at the time I didn't. So they're older, they have to get up in the middle of the night. Multiple of them are getting up and walking to the bathroom and going to the bathroom. And I'm kind of being woken. And I was like, oh my gosh, well, they're also early risers. And waiting till the absolute last minute, they finally start brewing their coffee, grinding coffee and waking me up. And I have earplugs in and an eye mask, and I'm trying so hard to stay asleep because I'm pretty exhausted. And kept getting woken up. And I started to feel very panicky. This is one of the tactics that was used against me in this unhealthy relationship. It was waking me up with telephone calls or intentionally waking me up through the night, breaking into my house in the middle of the night, things like that. So having disrupted sleep in the evening, early morning is very upsetting for me. And I don't know why I didn't know this about myself until I knew. Another thing happened during that trip that, again, I thought I have no idea, or I had no idea that this is a problem for me. And it is not having access to food and meals and feeling really hungry. So the person that I was with was very weight conscious, very focused on losing weight and sort of controlling my food. And so I'm on this trip with people. One individual is receiving treatment and they can't chew regularly. Another individual has a very restricted, limited diet, so they eat less regularly. Another person is always, too busy to stop to eat. And then the fourth is on a medication also that causes them to not want to eat at normal intervals. And I kept being so hungry. I was like, when are we ever going to eat lunch? When are we going to eat breakfast? Are we going to eat dinner? Why aren't we eating? Why aren't we eating? And I remember feeling so overwhelmed and panicked. So panicked. Some other things happened on the trip. And you have to understand, these are nice, wonderful, considerate people who I love. And they're not trying to stress me out. I ended up basically saying, I absolutely have to go to the grocery store. I have to buy food. I bought yogurts and things like that so that when they didn't eat, I could eat, because it made me feel trapped and panicked. And I struggled so hard to not be irritable or unkind. So things come up, things crop up often as you are in the state of trying to recover. One thing that I made a determination not to do was to give myself permission to be a jerk, to be unkind or difficult. Everyone around me would have let me. They knew what I was going through. They knew, you could see it in my eyes, the trauma and the just exhaustion. It was pretty obvious. I was still struggling with extreme eczema, so it was hard to miss that I was not myself and I was not okay. My friends, what I want to talk to you about today is not punishing the people around you or not allowing the people that love you the most to be your punching bag as you deal with triggers. One of the most important things that I have done in my recovery is to step away as I'm feeling frustrated, overwhelmed, angry at the person who is in the middle of my trigger. And stepping back and saying, who is this person? Well, it's this family member, it's this friend, they care about me. What are their intentions towards me? Love and kindness. Do they deserve me to fight them the way that I had to fight my captor? No. And I made it a point early on that no matter how much I was hurting, I wasn't allowed to hurt others. I wasn't allowed to justify not being in control, and maybe I wouldn't be in control of my emotions. Maybe I would be harsh or rude, but I needed to go back and apologize to the people that loved me because they love me. And I needed them, and I still need them. So do I want them to feel the brunt of my exhaustion, the brunt of my pain and sadness? No, I didn't. And it's very common I won't say common, it's easy to make an excuse. Well, they know what I'm going through. Or, well, they don't know what I'm going through. They don't know how hard it is for me. If they did, they would behave nicer. They wouldn't do this. They wouldn't do that. Why are they doing this? And why are they doing that? Remember who your enemies are. And remember who your friends and loved ones are. At the end of the day, my goal was to not let the person who caused me these triggers and these nightmares to be in power in my relationships that remained. You see, that's what it is. Me lashing out at the people that love me is me letting the abuser win. The goal of the person who hurt me was to isolate me, to control me, and to have power over me. And I would imagine so was yours. So how can we possibly let them isolate us, control us, and destroy what relationships remain by lashing out? So I want to encourage you. Be ready to apologize. I had a situation actually last week. I was really in a funk, struggling a little bit with some stuff. And I was going to say it made me. I chose to be impatient and critical with someone that I really care about. And as I was thinking about it, thinking about this person who I care about, I was reminded that in general, I don't do this to people that I care about. I don't make excuses for being impatient and critical. But they're very close to me, and sometimes the people that we know love us the most, we give ourselves the most freedom to be unkind or lash out. Or shouldn't they know more than everybody else what we need and how to meet our needs? When you've become victimized, harmed, abused, It's so tempting to accept that you are the victim being hurt and that others need to take better care of you, need to be more loving towards you, owe you something. And they don't. They're already there. They already care about you. They already love you. Now, some people are in very unhealthy families. Some people have lousy friendships. Maybe it's time for you not to be in those friendships. That's something worth thinking about. But if they're safe, if they're kind, if they confront you gently, if they invite you for a weekend and make all the food, be gracious to the people that love you. Don't make an excuse for yourself and your triggers. Don't do it. Don't let the person who hurt you have power over you still. So yes, I have to step back and ask for forgiveness often. One person in particular I can think of, I've said, you deserve to be treated with love, respect, kindness. And then they'll say, oh, I know you're tired. I know you're going through something. I know, but you still deserve for me to treat you well. And I want to. I want to treat you the way that you deserve, which is patience and kindness and love and really like acceptance. There are people in my life that I just give blind acceptance and trust to. And then there are others that I have higher demands and unmet expectations. And I make excuses for myself until I don't. If you're one of those amazing friends that has stood by me as I struggled and as I continue to find my way out of the darkness, thank you for being there, for being patient with me, for letting me apologize and ask for your forgiveness when I was unkind. It's going to come out. It comes out of all of us all the time, whether or not we have triggers. We're tired, we're discouraged, we're hurt, or whatever. But the people that love us, shouldn't they get the most love, the most kindness? I'm glad that there's patience for me. I'm glad that there's understanding for me. I'm glad that grace is extended. But I don't want them to always feel like they have to extend grace to me because I'm always impatient, unkind, critical of the people I love the most. Friends, I hope that helps. I hope it makes you think a little bit. What am I doing when I am in my dark moods? When I am in a flashback? When I don't realize that I'm reliving something that feels really similar and familiar? And now I feel scared, upset. All I can say is that as soon as you realize what's going on and what you're doing, tell the people you love that you love them. Thank them for the patience that they've given you and tell them that you're going to try to do better at not making them the target that they don't deserve to be. Trauma is real. Pain is real. Reactions are real. Don't lose the people that stuck by you. Don't beat them up and be unkind to them. Don't make excuses for not loving people who have loved you and hung in there. That's the best advice I can give. I'll talk to you later, friends. Thank you.